Howdy, folks. I'm Hydrophilic Hydra, hypnotically hissing at hysterical hydrangeas.
I'm Amber.
And here are more hysteric hydrangeas for us to hiss at. Amber, need I remind you that a hydrangea is a plant?
Yes.
How would one acquire a hysteric?
We are in some universe where these sea monsters, sea serpent monsters exist, so I would think that hysterical hydrangeas wouldn't be too far-fetched. And that's how you calm them, is by hissing at them hypnotically.
I see. There you have it, folks. There you have it. Let's get started. Alright, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Wanting to Do the Prank That the Bride is Asking Me to Do During Her Wedding Ceremony? Sorry for any spelling or grammar mistakes. I don't have an excuse. I'm just terrible at writing. I'm a 23-year-old male, and I'm one of the groomsmen for my best friend, a 35-year-old male's wedding. His fiancée, a 33-year-old female, is known as a jokester and likes pulling pranks that don't affect anyone beyond making us laugh. Stupid, funny things that she would go out of her way to do to make us laugh. It's never anything harmful, and the furthest thing that she's ever done was accidentally destroy the groom's bad laptop and surprise him with a brand new modern Alienware one that she had been saving for 2 years. She backed up everything and only destroyed the screen so stuff could still be salvaged just in case. Pretty sweet, honestly. My friend is a bit more serious, logician type, so she balances him out a lot. He finds her antics pretty amusing as well. Probably a driving factor in the relationship. Sorry for all this preamble, but I'll get to the point. So neither of them really care about the ceremony aspect of the wedding. They're going to go get a courthouse wedding and save the money for a nice reception with only close family and friends. There's going to be 3 witnesses, me, the bridesmaid, and the maid of honor. And the wedding will have at most 4 or 5 more friends and some of the groom's family. The bride was all for this as she can get really anxious in big events like this, but she feels like it's not something to really write home about, so she wants to pull a pretty notable prank by having a dramatic objection or something during the ceremony. Since I'll be the only single one there, she wanted me to do an objection thing, seem like I was going to go for her, and then plot twist 5 for the groom. Then she wants us to do a sword fight for his hand. I wish I was joking, but she and the groom actually have a sizable sword collection, and she said that she was going to get her maid of honor to sneak in 2 of the smaller ones. The maid of honor, who was there while the bride was talking to me, interjected and said it was a dumb idea. I felt relief. But then she said that she would get fake swords, since there could be issues in smuggling in actual weapons. Plus, she would run it by an officiant and whoever else that she would have to at the courthouse to make sure that not too much of a commotion was created. Stress. I, admittedly, am a bit of a doormat, and I didn't outright say no at first, and I was hoping the maid of honor would say something. Then I realized that I needed to pull my big boy pants and say no, which I did. Yay. They weren't happy, and not in an angry way, but in a way that made me feel immediately guilty. Not yay. I stupidly offered to think of a different joke to pull. They've added me to a group chat where I've constantly tried reiterating how I don't feel comfortable with pranks, and that they would try to reassure me, trying to get me to reconsider. The maid of honor is calling me a jerk for not following the bride's wishes, and one of the other mutual friends who the bride talked to about this. As are one of the other mutual friends who the bride talked to about this. It's getting harder and harder to stick to my no, so am I the jerk. Alright folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk, but I also kind of want to see that wedding. But with, like, all parties on board, of course. Because, like, that sounds, like, especially, like, if it's overly done, like, dramatically, I don't know. That could be really funny.
I think so. I think that it was a clever idea. It's unfortunate that OP doesn't feel comfortable doing this, but it's also OP's decision, and I think that that should be respected.
Right. Well, I think the groom needs to be let into. Like, it could be funny for the audience, but I think that it shouldn't be a prank on the groom.
Well, I mean, I think that if everyone is in on it, then it's not going to be like a prank type of thing, right? And I mean, it sounds like he's used to her antics and is aware of what she'll do, so it probably won't surprise him that she's doing some kind of prank, right?
Yeah, it might not. Like, as long as they're over the top theatric about it or something. But,
Yeah.
like, it is a little dicey to do that at the wedding. I can understand why OP would be uncomfortable. And I certainly think he's well within his right to say, no, I don't want to
Yeah.
prank someone on their wedding day. I just think it sounds like it could be really funny. And it reminds me of a play when I was in eighth grade, we had to write a play, a whole class did. And people were, like, not giving me anything to do. And so I was like, why doesn't someone just throw me a sword? Like, I don't remember it exactly, and so I get to sword fight in the play because I wrote myself in because no one else would.
So I think, again, this is one of those situations where OP is well within the right to basically decline to do this. The bride should respect that. And if she really wants to pull a prank, she should pull a prank without the assistance of OP and find someone else who is going to be a willing participant. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Nobody Asked Me 1990 says, not the jerk. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a story on here a while back where someone objected at a wedding as a joke, and somehow they made the ceremony unable to continue even though the groom was in on the joke. The bride was devastated and the wedding funding was wasted on a ceremony that couldn't continue. The whole day was spoiled and non-refundable. And OP replies, I don't think I've read that story, but I've heard horror stories of objections going awry. The groom and the bride aren't well off in the slightest, and all of us are pitching in to make the reception be at least halfway to the bride's dream. I'm going to be the one making most of the food. The two of the bride's friends are going to be helping her thrift and edit a dress themselves by hand. The most well-off friend of the groom is going to pay for their honeymoon as a wedding gift. The fact that the limited funds that we would be able to scrounge up would go to waste would probably, hopefully, convince the bride not to do this idea. And Status Change 758 says, not the jerk. Why does it have to be you of all people? He's your friend. Why doesn't she ask one of her friends? Hey, sorry bride, he's my friend. I know how important this day is for him. I'm not going to pull a prank at his wedding. And OP replies, the only person that she's going to have there that'll be a witness is her maid of honor, who has a slightly toxic girlfriend that would probably throw a fit if she tried this. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Not Forgiving My Mother-in-Law After She Gave Away My Late Mother's Heirloom to a Stranger? I'm a 30-year-old female, and I've known in my family for my patience and my generosity. I've always gone out of my way to help others, and I take pride in being a good person. My husband, a 32-year-old male, and I have a beautiful relationship built on mutual respect and understanding. My late mother left me a precious heirloom, a vintage necklace that has been in our family for generations. It's not just valuable, but it holds an immense sentimental value to me. I've always kept it safe and only wore it on special occasions, cherishing the memories that it holds. Enter my mother-in-law, a 57-year-old female who has a history of overstepping boundaries. Despite our differences, when she lost her apartment, my husband and I opened our home to her, asking nothing more in return but basic respect for our belongings. One day, I come home to find my mother-in-law hosting a tea party with her friends, and to my horror, one of her friends was wearing my mother's necklace. When I confronted her, my mother-in-law nonchalantly said that she gave it away because she thought it was just old jewelry and that her friend admired it. I was heartbroken and felt utterly betrayed. My husband was equally appalled and supported my decision to ask her to leave. Now, the rest of the family is painting me as a villain, saying that I'm overreacting and should forgive her because family is family. So am I the jerk for not being able to forgive this breach of trust? Alright, folks, what do you think?
Not the jerk. She stole your heirloom necklace. End of story. Like, you do not have to want to have a relationship with someone who steals your possessions and gives them away.
Well, and that's it. And I don't think that OP's in the wrong here, but I'm a little confused. Did OP see the woman wearing the necklace? Why didn't she stop, tell her that no, she can't have that and force them to give it back?
Well, in the comments, she did get it back. The
Oh.
woman was apologetic.
Oh, I see. So she got the necklace back. And so OP is now asking for the mother-in-law to leave because she doesn't trust her in the house anymore. I see. So I'm glad that OP was able to get their necklace back. That often doesn't happen in these stories. And I feel bad that this happened to OP because this was probably pretty distressing. And I understand the other people's concerns for the mother-in-law, but I think in similar stories, we've always said, well, they can take her in,
Well,
right?
exactly. I think they don't want to take her in, which is why they're pushing this on OP and like, oh, you just need to get over it. You need to forgive her. Which no, absolutely not. You do not need to take her in. What she did is inexcusable, and she will probably do the same things and treat your possessions badly again.
Yeah, and I worry about that as well. It seems like she could very well do this again or do something very similar, and I feel bad because this puts them in a really bad spot and it puts them in an awkward spot. What happens if OP hadn't come home to see the necklace on somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then this would have been an even more horrifying situation because then what makes you not how likely do you think it is that the mother-in-law would have advocated for getting the necklace back at that point in time?
Right, she would have just been like, oh, I can't. Well, she was upset because OP embarrassed her by asking for the necklace back. And so she would have been like, I can't do that. I can't because it would be too embarrassing. You just have to
Mm-hmm.
let it go.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Giga Werewolf says, did you get the necklace back? Also, she robbed you, not the jerk. And OP replies, yeah, I got it back after explaining the situation to my mother-in-law's friend, but my mother-in-law thinks that I made her look extremely foolish and idiotic.
You know, you gotta love when people are like, you made me look so bad. It's like, no, your actions made you look bad. You don't get to give away other people's possessions.
And Just My Aura says, not the jerk, this part right here. Now the rest of the family is painting me as a villain, saying that I'm overreacting and should forgive her because family is family. No. Actually, they don't want to be the ones that might have to take her in, now that your husband has asked her to leave. Nobody wants to put up with her terrible behavior, and thus this is the real reason that they are talking badly about you. Stand your ground and get her out of your house. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, My boyfriend's best friend, a 27-year-old male, walked in on me, a 26-year-old female, in the shower. How should I proceed? I've been with my boyfriend, a 27-year-old male, for 2 years now, and we have a close relationship with his best friend. Treat him like a brother. The best friend has a habit of showing up unexpectedly at our house, knocking and simply walking in. He has a key so he can let himself in case of an emergency. On Sunday, I was in the shower when I heard the knock on the bathroom door, and he said that he came back to pick up his package which was delivered at our house. But it was for him. Indeed, we received a package for him, and he was asking about it. I said, give me a minute, and I would be right out. But he said that he was in a hurry and opened the bathroom door and walked in. I was so shocked that I just stood there, soaking wet, completely frozen. I yelled at him to leave, but he just stood there for a good minute staring. Didn't say a word, then he just left. I got dressed, I walked out, but he was gone from the house. The package was still waiting for him on the kitchen counter. I have not seen him since. I don't know if I should tell my boyfriend, speak with the friend, or what should I do, if anything at all. Alright folks, what do you think OP should do here?
Definitely talk with your boyfriend. This is really creepy behavior. There is no reason why, like, even if he was in a hurry, he could have picked it up at a different time, you know, or he could have just grabbed it on his own instead of having you get it for him. There was no reason for him to walk in on you while you're showering.
Yeah. I'm wondering why he froze. Did he freeze because he was like in shock in the moment, or was he being a creep?
My guess is a creep because, like, he knows it's the bathroom.
Yeah.
Whatever OP is doing in the bathroom, like, why would you open the door when you know someone's in the bathroom? Like,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
if he didn't hear the shower water, the other option is you're sitting on the toilet. Like,
Yeah. Was a I'm gonna see her while she's showering type of thing because the package was on the kitchen table. It probably wouldn't have been hard for him to wait for OP to shout at him that it was on the kitchen table. I honestly don't know what he was expecting here for walking into a bathroom, right? And you can often hear a shower running, right? So I don't know. It seems pretty malicious. But I do think that OP should talk to her boyfriend because this will give her all the information she needs about whether this is a good relationship or not.
yeah, well, and also it will give her a chance because if he does more creepy stuff and it comes out later, then he's gonna get to spin the narrative, and you don't want him being the one to control the story the boyfriend hears.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Different Cupcake 403 says, why haven't you told your boyfriend yet? Seriously. And OP replies, I don't want to hurt him. He will feel so betrayed by his best friend and he'll be upset. I don't know how he'll react. I don't want to be the reason for the end of a friendship of 10 years. Well, you wouldn't be the reason,
No.
OP. His behavior is the reason. And that's actually a really troubling thing, is that sometimes people will blame themselves for other people's actions. OPs, just because somebody did something creepy to you doesn't mean that you are causing them a punishment, right?
Right. Well, and think about in your boyfriend's position. If one of your friends did something really creepy to your partner, would you want to still be friends with this person? Like, I understand it's hard to lose a friendship, but like, I'd rather know that they are not a good person and like that I shouldn't be friends with them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
How do amoebas communicate?
Amoebas communicate through sign language.
With cell phones.
Oh, with cell phones? I see. That makes sense. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior's Eve.
Happy Friday Junior, you
Oh,
mean?
yeah, Friday Junior, yes. Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today. We just realized just this moment that what day of the week it was, and now we're like, oh, oops.
Yep.
Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on respecting boundaries.
It's important to remember that no means no, that people's possessions are theirs unless otherwise stipulated, and not yours to give away, and that if someone's in the bathroom, let them have their privacy. Those are all reasonable boundaries.
Yes, those are all very reasonable boundaries. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye!